My name is Steve Layton, and I travel the world finding amazing and delicious coffee for you to drink at home. Some make coffee difficult to understand and complicated, but here it's my job to make it easy and fun and tell you what's in my mug.
Hello everyone and welcome to In My Mug, a slightly different location this week than normal. On location, that's Lake Owassa, which is near to the town of Owassa, which is just around there. And I am stopping in somewhere that's been on my bucket list forever. It is owned by the marathon runner, Haile Selassie, and I heard about this place years and years ago. And turned up here just a couple of days ago, completely didn't know, somebody else had arranged it, and got to stop in this hotel that has that view from my balcony. It's amazing. But we're not here to talk about my bits where I am and stuff. Well, we are a little bit in Ethiopia on a trip to come and visit Israel, who we've talked about on here before. Expect some more photos of him and things coming up in the future. It's been an absolute pleasure spending time with him. We've got just today, and then we're back to Addis Ababa tomorrow, and then I fly home tomorrow night. So it's been a whistle-stop trip, 4 days in Ethiopia, but lots and lots of fun. Let's talk about the coffee that we have this week, which is from Ethiopia, funnily enough. I don't know how that happened. I may have kind of rushed to get some coffee that we bought to us so we can have it for the moment while I was here. But it comes from the Wenago region, which is in the Gidoa zone, and it comes from a cooperative that is based there. That I don't know a great deal about, so it's going to be a very, very short In My Mug, even after such a long introduction. But before we go any further, why don't we go and look at the map bit so we can get an idea exactly where it is in regards to Lake Owassa behind us. So let's go find out.
For old time's sake, as we're coming towards the end of the map bits, it's the map bit. Some expense spent. Okay, we'll move on to the map bit. We're down to Africa. I love going to Africa on the map bit because we seem to go across the ocean so often. It's lovely to go down, and we're going down to Ethiopia. So here we can see Addis Ababa, and Ethiopia is the only country that uses a 13-month calendar, which is currently about 7 years behind. It's actually 2009 in Ethiopia at the moment. Makes me a lot younger. I like that. But let's go down to Yirgacheffe. Yirgacheffe is the region. This is the town of Yirgacheffe. I've just spent the past few days going through here every day and waving to the folks. Where that pin is, there's actually a sign that says "Welcome to Yirgacheffe," which for me was a little bit of a something I had to do. And Wenago, I actually went through here and I was looking for places to take photos, and all I got was a picture of Wenago. But there's the Yirgacheffe photo. So that's the sign exactly where that dot is. I love that photo. Here we've got just a generic washing station picture, because this is actually, this one is from Wenago, and this is them sorting and doing all of the hand sorting. And again, here is one from Wenago that we got. Quite often while they're doing this, the ladies will often sing as well, and it's magical when you hear it, like the sunlight changing and them singing. But yeah, Wenago, I got a photo of the bank, and I got a photo of a sign that says Wenago instead of Wenago, so isn't that good? But yeah, highest point in Ethiopia, 4,550 metres. It's fairly high all over. They have a heap of altitude. One of the washing stations, I was almost 2,300 metres, which I've never seen coffee grown that high. And that is the map bit.
So as you can see, it's super close to where we are, although I'm not going to probably get a chance to go there because it's a cooperative and not somebody who Israel would know or be able to introduce us to even. And that's the way that the system works here in Ethiopia, that a lot of it is by small individual factories who are selling either as part of a cooperative or in very rare occasions selling as individuals. And this is a cooperative that have come together to work. So this will have up to 2,500 members delivering coffee. The altitude is off the scale crazy, but that's Ethiopia as well. The lowest you'll find is 1,500 metres. Yesterday we saw coffee growing at 2,300 metres, which is just obscenely large, a very, very high altitude. I've never seen coffee growing that high before. It is very impressive. The varietals from this coffee are what we call heirloom. So we know that coffee is indigenous to Ethiopia. It was found here, and over many, many years the coffee has just gone up and changed and evolved and turned into something different. So it's what we call heirloom, and that just means that, you know, it started as something, turned into something else with no idea what the varietal is. It's a fully washed coffee. So fully washed is where the cherry is removed, the seed is taken away, and then it's left in Ethiopia. It's left to soak in water from anything from 20 hours to 60 hours, depending on the weather conditions. And then it's dried on beds, raised beds off the floor, and again that can take anything from 7 to 14 days, depending on weather conditions as well. Why don't we go look at this week's fact file, and then we'll be back with Roland's Daft Fact, and then if I can somehow, I have the coffee with me, but I don't know how I'm going to brew it because I have no kettle. So maybe downstairs, just outside the breakfast room, trying to record the tasting bit. But yeah, you've got Fact File, you've got Roland's Daft Fact, then you've got me hopefully drinking coffee. If not, I'm probably going to be drinking it in Addis or somewhere like that. But we'll see what happens. We'll get there somehow.
So the fact file comes with its normal disclaimer. Figures may change because we got them wrong. But this week we're focusing on Ethiopia, the wonderful country of Ethiopia. 3,200 hectares devoted to coffee. Absolutely a huge part because the yields are so low on some of the farms. They need that land. The fifth biggest coffee producer, biggest African producer. Total coffee production 300,000 to 350,000 metric tons, which is one heck of a lot of coffee. Common varietals, we're going to say Arabica because they're heirloom varietals and we don't really know what they are. Coffee's grown 1,300 to 2,300 metres above sea level, and we have 7 farms that we work with in Ethiopia, but this being a new farm, but a producer that we already know. So the mill is called Wenago. It is washed, it's heirloom varietals, it's dried on raised African beds at an altitude of 750 to 1850 metres above sea level, and lots of rain. And that was the fact file.
70% of the mountains in Africa are in Ethiopia. It's a very mountainous country,
So I found somewhere I could record this. I've also found some way of brewing it. I brought an AeroPress with me with a hand grinder, and I've just sat in the breakfast room looking like an idiot. But then that's what coffee people do when they're travelling, is look like idiots. So let's dive into the coffee. Wasn't Roland's fact interesting as well? Also, there's a lake that feeds into the White Nile and Black, but it got complicated, so I didn't understand it. But yeah, a beautiful country, huge population. Just a stunning amount of young people as well. Like says the old man. Right, let's go in. So obviously no espresso or cappuccino this week, but actually I'm quite happy for that because I think Yirgacheffe's very much a set for brewed coffee. You get lots of acidity, and I mean that's the primary flavour in this coffee for me, is the acidity. It's got a really lovely lemon, and it's real fresh lemon. Sometimes you end up with a lemon juice or a lemonade. This is real lemon. Added to that, you get a beautiful sweetness, and it's a very simple sweetness. It's like a white sugar sweetness that, again, I think is really nice. I'm really enjoying. And then the finish is not what I expected. So this is an atypical Yirgacheffe, right up until the finish, and you get almost like a black pepper spiciness on the finish, which makes it super interesting and really complex, and not something I was expecting whatsoever.
Yeah, it is an amazing coffee. And I don't know whether it's just because I'm here, because coffee always tastes better at Origin, like it always does. We've had some amazing coffees done with the old Ethiopian ceremony. We were at a friend of ours' house yesterday, and we were guests, and they did it for us, and it was just phenomenal. Yet the way they roasted the coffee in a pan, and like it was burnt to within an inch of its life, yet still tasted delicious. Hopefully this isn't burnt to within an inch of its life. I hope you're enjoying it at home. Thank you for joining me. Sorry for it being a little bit of a disjointed one, but then you know what it's like when I'm on the travels. Enjoy them while they last, because we really only got one more in this format until we go to 450. Thank you very much for listening, watching, being here. And do remember, life is too short for bad coffee. I've got a tough life, haven't I? I don't know how I cope.